Today we have an unfortunate chance to be able to talk to a good friend of mine, Jon Lutes,
Wow.
who I met overseas when he was studying the Mongolian language to go to Mongolia as soon as it opened. And at that point, there was no hope or even a sign that Mongolia was going to open
That's right.
for missionaries. Tell us what you saw there.
Well, first of all, we met in the context of our first assignment. So our job as pioneer missionaries is to lay a foundation. And so to lay a foundation for Mongolia, we actually started in Hungary. And because their worldview in both is very similar, a scientific atheistic worldview. And so our job is really simple, but simply impossible. So to lay a foundation where there is no foundation. So that means we have to have root foundations. That's very important. And that's where you come in, buddy.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What do you mean?
It was in the late 80s. What was it, 88?
Oh, yeah. So, it probably was.
I think it was
89, maybe.
In 1988, we were just beginning our pioneer work in Hungary. And we heard of creation scientists coming in, need a place to stay, and we offered our place. And we decided to observe their ministry, see how that would work in a scientific atheist worldview, behind the Iron Curtain, closed country. So for 1 week, we followed Dave and Mary Jo Nutting with Alpha Omega Institute as they taught in an underground church. But it wasn't just believers, it was also unbelievers sneaking in. And every day, we watched Dave and Mary Jo, and we looked at the people. Dave and Mary Jo looked at the people. Day by day, countenances were changing. Even the believers were rooted in a scientific atheistic worldview. So we watched as unbelievers that we knew or believers that we knew were being transformed by your ministry, Dave.
Wow. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I heard you say one time it's kind of like their hearts and their minds were being molded or melted together.
Yeah, so for the unbelievers, we had lived in the country long enough to know their foundation was there is no God. So evolution was definitely, of course, the natural course of belief for them. And as we observed the ministry and the effect, it was as if their hearts that were hard were starting to be softened. The soil was breaking up from a hard stone, breaking up to become soil. That's powerful. And every day, not only the soil being broken up, but a seed of truth being put in. That's in the unbelievers. In the believers, they truly loved Jesus, but they still had a foundation, a shaky foundation, a worldview of scientific atheism. So for the believer, almost sitting a little taller, countenance a little brighter, as they realized Jesus and the whole Bible is absolutely rock solid true. They hadn't had that foundation of creation. Exactly. A literal, biblical, solid, credible view of foundation supported by the evidence of science that you had brought in. So your weaving of scientific evidence and biblical truth strengthened the believers and started that journey from, like you said, from head to heart for unbelievers.